All right, the judges are seated. All right, everybody, welcome back for the second round of the Minnesota State Finals of Poetry Out Loud. Yeah. Hopefully you've had a nice break. I don't know what you could have done in all that time. You could have done a myriad of things here in scenic downtown Minneapolis. But I hope you made wise decisions and plugged your meter. So we're going to get started with the second round. So for the second round, everybody's going to come up. They're going to do one more poem. Then we will take another break, another short break, add up the first and second rounds, and then we will announce our top 6 who will be competing with our third poem. Cool. So, yeah, let's keep this quick. We already know everybody. From Woodbury High School, please welcome Abdi back to the mic, everybody. Give it up.
The Gift by Lee Young Lee. To pull the metal splinter from my palm, my father recited a story in a low voice. I watched his lovely face, and not the blade. Before the story ended, he'd remove the iron sliver I thought I'd die from. I can't remember the tale, but hear his voice still, a well of dark water, a prayer. And I recall his hands, 2 measures of tenderness he laid against my face, the flames of discipline he raised above my head. Had you entered that afternoon, you would have thought you saw a man planting something in a boy's palm. A silver tear, a tiny flame. Had you followed that boy, you would have arrived here, where I bend over my wife's right hand. Look how I shave her thumbnail down so carefully. She feels no pain. Watch as I lift the splinter out. I was 7 when my father took my hand like this. And I did not hold that shard between my fingers and think, metal that will bury me, christen it little assassin, or going deep from my heart. And I did not lift up my wound and cry, death visited here. I did what a child does when he's given something to keep. I kissed my father.
From Wabasha Kellogg High School, everybody please welcome back Paul Cushman to the mic. Give it up.
Song of the Powers by David Mason. Mine, said the stone. Mine is the hour I crush the scissors. Such is my power, stronger than wishes. My power alone. Mine, said the paper. Mine are the words that smother the stone with imagined birds, reams of them flown from the mind of the shaper. Mine, said the scissors. Mine all the knives gashing through paper's ethereal lives. Nothing so proper as tattering wishes. As stone crushes scissors, as paper snuffs stone, and scissors cut paper, all end alone. So heap up your paper, and scissor your wishes, and uproot the stone from the top of the hill. They all end alone. As you will. You will. Thank you.
All right. From Uba Medical Academy, please welcome Faiza Abubakar to the stage, everybody. Give it up.
Echo by Christina Rossetti. Come to me in the silence of the night. Come in the speaking silence of a dream. Come with soft, rounded cheeks and eyes as bright as sunlight on a stream. Come back in tears, oh memory, hope, love of finished years. Oh dream, how sweet, too bittersweet. whose wakening should have been in paradise, where souls brimful of love abide and meet, where thirsting, longing eyes watch the slow door, that opening, letting in, lets out no more. Yet come to me in dreams that I may live my very life again, though cold in death. Come back to me in dreams that I may give pulse for pulse, breath for breath. Speak low, lean low. As long ago, my love, how long ago?
What am I working on? Oh, nothing. What am I working on? I don't know. I just signed a contract with Grey Wolf to have a book with them. It's not about me. It's just, yeah. So that's what I'm working on. Yeah, edits on poems about death and things, light subjects, light matter. And then what else am I working on? Oh, at the Loft on Wednesday, April 8th. At 8 o'clock or 7 o'clock, one of those two, around the time things tend to start. I'm hosting a reading for Cave Canem, which is this national black poet literary society that I'm a part of. It's going to be an amazing reading. I'll be hosting. We'll all go do karaoke after, I promise. And so you should come to that. It's going to be at the Loft. It's part of the opening kickoff stuff for AWP, so make sure you check that out. Cool. From Twin Cities Academy High School in St. Paul, everybody, please welcome Amaris Coleman to the mic. Give it up.
The blues don't change by Al Young. Now I'll tell you about the blues. All Negroes like the blues. Why? Because they was born with the blues and now everybody have the blues. Sometimes they don't know what it is. Lead belly. And I was born with you. Wasn't I blues? Wombed with you, wounded, reared, and forwarded from address to address, stamped, stomped, and returned a sender by nobody else but you. Blue ride. Riding me off every chance you get. You mean old grudgeful-hearted, table-turning demon. You sexy soul-sucking gem. Blue diamond in the rough. You are forever. Can't be outfoxed, don't care how they cut and smuggle and shine you on. You're like a shadow, too dumb and stubborn and necessary to let them turn you into what you ain't, with color or theory or powder or paint. That's how you can stay in style without sticking and not getting stuck. You know how to sting where I can't scratch, and you move from frying pan to skillet the same way you move people to gutter, wiggling their bodies, juggling their limbs, loosening that goose, upping their voices, opening their pores, rolling their hips and lips. They can shake their booties, but they can't shake you. Thank you.
All right, judges are prepared. Up next from the Marshall School in Duluth, please welcome back to the stage Dave Camper, everybody. Give it up.
Hysteria by Dionisio D. Martinez for Ana Menendez. It only takes one night with the wind on its knees to imagine Carl Sandburg unfolding a map of Chicago, puzzled, then walking the wrong way. The lines on his face are hard to read. I alternate between the TV, or a plastic surgeon is claiming that every facial expression causes wrinkles in the newspaper. I picture the surgeon reading the lines on Sandberg's face, lines that would have made more sense if the poet had been, say, a tree growing in a wind orchard. Maybe he simply smiled too much. I'm reading about the All-Star game, thinking that maybe Sandberg saw the White Sox of 1919. I love American newspapers, the way each section is folded independently and believes it owns the world. There's this brief item in the international pages. The Chinese government has posted signs in Tiananmen Square forbidding laughter. I'm sure the plastic surgeon would approve. He'd say the Chinese will look young much longer, their faces unnaturally smooth. But what I see, although no photograph accompanies the story, is laughter bursting inside them. I go back to the sports section, and a close-up of a rookie in mid-swing, his face keeping all the wrong emotions in check. When I read, I bite my lower lip. A habit the plastic surgeon would probably call cosmetic heresy because it accelerates the aging process. I think of Carl Sandburg and the White Sox. I think of wind in Tiananmen Square, how a country deprived of laughter ages invisibly. I think of the great walls of North America, each of them a grip on some outfield like a rookie's hands around a bat when the wind is against him. I bite my lower lip again. I want to learn to think in American, to believe that a headline is a fact and all stories are suspect.
All right. Up next, from Harbor City International School in Duluth, please give a welcome to Abigail Ederson coming back to the mic, everybody. Give it up.
The Applicant by Sylvia Plath. First, are you our sort of person? Do you wear a glass eye, false teeth, or a crutch? A brace or a hook? Rubber breasts or a rubber crotch? Stitches to show that something's missing? No? No, then how can we give you a thing? Stop crying, open your hand. Empty? Empty. Here is a hand to fill it and willing to bring teacups and roll away headaches and do whatever you tell it. Will you marry it? It's guaranteed to thumb shut your eyes at the end and dissolve of sorrow. We make new stock from the salt. I notice you are stark naked. How about this suit? Black and stiff, but not a bad fit. Will you marry it? It's waterproof, shatterproof, proof against fire and bombs through the roof. Believe me, they'll bury you in it. Now, your head, excuse me, is empty. I have the ticket for that. Come here, sweetie, out of the closet. Well, what do you think of that? Naked as paper to start. But in 25 years, she'll be silver. In 50, gold. A living doll. Everywhere you look, it can sew, it can cook, it can talk. It works. There's nothing wrong with it. You have a hole, it's a poultice. You have an eye, it's an image. My boy, it's your last resort. Will you marry it? Marry it? Marry it?
Literary gossip that you should know. So this one time, I heard Nikki Giovanni give a speech, and like for 5 minutes of it, she talked about her and Maya Angelou had beef, which is maybe the best thing I've ever learned in my life. That like these two like great Black women literary figures like side eye each other from the side of the room at the National Book Award, and I thought that was a nice little tidbit. All the great literary rivalries. I'm pretty sure like I don't know, Poe probably punched somebody back in his day in the face or something like that. And yeah, so you know, literary figures were people too. And Maya Angelou and Nikki Giovanni didn't see it for each other. thought you should walk with that. All right, coming up next to the competition from Great River School in St. Paul. Please give it up for Sarah Donnelly coming back to the mic.
Becoming a Redwood by Dana Gioia. Stand in a field long enough and the sounds start up again. The crickets, the invisible toad who claims that change is possible, and all the other life too small to name. First one, then another, until innumerable they merge into the single voice of a summer hill. Yes, it's hard to stand still, hour after hour fixed as a fence post, hearing the steers snort in the dark pasture, smelling the manure, and paralyzed by the mystery of how a stone can bear to be a stone, the pain the grass endures breaking through the earth's crust. Unimaginable, the redwoods on the far hill rooted for centuries, the living wood grown tall and thickened with 100,000 days of light. The old windmill creaks in perfect time to the wind shaking the miles of pasture grass, and the last farmhouse light goes off. Something moves nearby. Coyotes hunt these hills and packs of feral dogs, but standing here at night accepts all that. You are your own pale shadow in the quarter moon, moving more slowly than the crippled stars, part of the moonlight as the moonlight falls, part of the grass that answers the wind, part of the midnight's watchfulness that knows. There is no silence, but when danger comes.
James Baldwin liked no one. Take that. Cool. Just hated everybody and moved to the south of France. Something I long to do one day. It'd be great. All right, judges, y'all all set? All right, cool. Also from the Great River School in St. Paul, please welcome back Naomi Whitney Hirschman coming back to the mic, everybody. Give it up.
In Praise of My Bed by Meredith Holmes. At last I can be with you. The grinding hours since I left your side. The labor of being fully human. Working my opposable thumb, talking and walking upright. Now I have unclasped, unzipped, stepped out of husked. Soft, a beer only. I do nothing but point my bare feet into your clean smoothness. Feel your quiet strength, the whole length of my body. I close my eyes, hear myself moan. So grateful to be held this way.
A poem. There need to be more poems about beds. I very often don't want to get out of my bed most mornings. I think everything should happen in a bed for the most part. Schooling, birth, I don't know, 40-hour-a-week jobs. They should all happen from the comfort of your own bed, because you paid a lot for those sheets from Target, and you deserve it. All right, we have 4 more poets left in this second round. From Forest Lake Senior High School in Forest Lake, everybody please give it up for Bethany Blackmore coming back to the mic.
Richard Cory by Edwin Arlington Robinson. Whenever Richard Cory went downtown, we people on the pavement looked at him. He was a gentleman from sole to crown, clean-favored and imperially slim. And he was always quietly arrayed. And he was always human when he talked. But still, he fluttered pulses when he said, "Good morning." And he glittered when he walked. And he was rich. Yes, richer than a king, and admirably schooled in every grace. In fine, we thought that he was everything, to make us wish that we were in his place. So on we worked, and waited for the light, and went without the meat, and cursed the bread. And Richard Corey, one calm summer night, went home and put a bullet through his head.
All right. So from Eastview High School in Apple Valley, everybody please welcome Cody Abel coming back to the mic. Give it up.
When I heard The Learned Astronomer by Walt Whitman. When I heard The Learned Astronomer, when the proofs, the figures were ranged in columns before me, when I was shown the charts and diagrams to add, divide, and measure them, when I sitting heard the astronomer where he lectured with much applause in the lecture room, how soon unaccountable I became tired and sick, till rising and gliding out I wandered off by myself in the mystical moist night air, and from time to time looked up in perfect silence at the stars.
Thank you, Cody, for that nice Whitman poem. Whitman, if you look it up on Wikipedia, was the first hipster all time. He has like the beard. He has like this weird hat thing going on. He's just like trying to like chop wood, but not even because he has to, but just because he can. So yeah, like totally, like Whitman would totally like be in Uptown right now, like doing something weird, planning on opening up like some weird like bike shop / bar. Whitman's totally all down for that stuff. He's also from Portland. All right. From the Blake School in Minneapolis, please welcome Cameron Patricia Downey back to the mic. Everybody, give it up.
Conversation by I. We smile at each other, and I lean back against the wicker couch. How does it feel to be dead? I say. You touch my knees with your blue fingers, and when you open your mouth, a ball of yellow light falls to the floor and burns a hole through it. Don't tell me, I say. I don't want to hear. Did you ever, you start? Wear a certain kind of silk dress, and just by accident, so inconsequential that you barely notice it, your fingers graze that dress, and you hear the sound of a knife cutting paper. You see it, too. And you realize how that image is simply the extension of another image, that your own life is a chain of words that one day will snap. Words, you say. Young girls in a circle holding hands and beginning to rise heavenward in their confirmation dresses like white helium balloons. The wreaths of flowers on their heads spinning. And above all that, that's where I'm floating. And that's what it's like. Only 10 times clearer, 10 times more horrible. Could anyone alive survive it?
All right, we are at our final poet for the second round. After this, we're going to take a short break. We're going to do some math. I'm not, because I would mess it up. But Patricia is going to do some math. And then we will have our top 6. And from there, we'll know who's going to nationals. Oh, so excited. All right. From Arcadia Charter School in Northfield, please give another round of applause for Bridget Moore coming back to the mic.
A Noiseless Patient Spider by Walt Whitman. A noiseless patient spider. I marked where on a little promontory it stood, isolated. Marked how to explore the vacant, vast surrounding. It launched forth filament out of itself. Ever unreeling them, ever tirelessly speeding them. And you, oh my soul, where you stand, surrounded, detached in measureless oceans of space, ceaselessly musing, venturing, throwing, seeking the spheres to connect them. To the bridge you will need be formed, to the ductile anchor hold, to the gossamer thread you fling, catch somewhere. Oh, my soul.
That was great. So that completes our second round of the competition. So we are going to take a short 5-minute intermission. And when we come back, we'll let you know who will be moving on to the third round, and then we'll know who's going on to nationals and whose school's going to get some money. We'll see you in a second.